When you hear 4.9 and 5% unemployment, the number's probably 28, 29.
9% rate might result in a cautiously constrictive monetary policy, whereas a 42% rate might result in the purge.
John Oliver just broke the internet, and all it took was one word. No fiery monologue, no elaborate deep dive, just a single syllable, and boom, Donald Trump went off like a Roomba with a grudge. But before we get into the glorious chaos, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button and subscribe. It's free, fast, and helps way more than you think. All set? Great. Now, back to the meltdown. So, what word sent Trump into a full-on keyboard warrior frenzy? Drumroll, please. Sad. That's it. Just sad. And just like that, Trump was firing off rants like he was trying to break the sound barrier on Truth Social. Pure, unfiltered meltdown. Imagine it. John Oliver standing on Last Week Tonight, cool as ever, audience locked in, and instead of a scorched earth takedown, he drops Trump's own go-to insult right back at him. One word. Devastating, no notes. Maximum carnage. The internet crowned a new meme king, and Trump? He just found his least favorite Brit.
Trump has made it clear that reality is not important to him. Think about it. Donald Trump lies is clearly not a fresh observation. Liberals are probably thinking, wow, hot take there, Johnny.
Now, you might be thinking, what's the fuss? It's just one word, right? But oh no, not to Trump. That one little syllable sad hit him harder than a subpoena in election season. See, sad isn't just a word in Trump's world, it's practically a piece of punctuation. It's his favorite insult, slapped onto everything from CNN to his ex-golf buddies like a kick-me sticker. So when John Oliver flung it right back at him, that wasn't just shade, it was a grand emotional robbery. Imagine snatching a toddler's favorite toy and watching them spiral, except this toddler has a gold-plated toilet and unlimited Wi-Fi. Sure enough, at 3 a.m., while the rest of us were dreaming of tacos and universal health care, Trump was busy rage tweeting from the presidential porcelain throne. His tweets? Less statement and more text-to-speech machine having a meltdown on a Big Mac high. First up, John Oliver. More like John Loser. Sad, real, fourth grade energy Donnie. Then came the classics. Fake comedy show. Run by a failed British nobody. America first. Because nothing screams America first. Like hate watching a British talk show in the middle of the night. But wait, it gets weirder. Somewhere in the all-caps storm, he swerved into hand territory. I'm the least sad president ever. Also, my hands are not small. No one asked, Donald, but thanks for the unprompted hand update. Honestly, it felt less like a political rebuttal and more like watching a meme come to life in real time one tweet away from turning into a Guy Fieri gif.
He's exaggerated the size of his inauguration crowd. He said the election was marred by mass voter fraud with no real proof of that. We have a president capable of standing in the rain and saying it was a sunny day.
And just when we thought the circus had packed up for the night, Trump rolled out the clown car one last time with an impromptu press conference. Picture it, the former president, orange as a lightly toasted cheese puff, clinging to the podium like it owed him alimony, declaring, "I'm happy, so happy, the happiest." Ask anyone. It wasn't a press conference, it was a live blooper reel from an SNL sketch that never made it to air. Except, tragically, this wasn't satire. This was real life. And the cherry on this chaotic Sunday? Reportedly, while Trump was having his solo meltdown, Melania was somewhere flipping through How to Divorce a President for Dummies. Okay, maybe we made that part up, but let's be honest, it tracks. So there you have it, folks. One tiny word sad and Trump's ego collapsed like a Jenga tower during an earthquake. Just goes to show, sometimes it only takes a pebble to start an avalanche, especially when that avalanche is built on insecurity, hairspray, and an unlimited data plan.
He also falsely claimed that compared to Muslims, it was almost impossible for Christian refugees from Syria to get into the US.
The rain should have scared them away, but God looked down and he said, "We're not going to let it rain on your speech."
No, he didn't. First.
Thought Trump's 3 a.m. Twitter meltdown was the peak of chaos? Oh, buddy, grab a snack and buckle up, because the sequel somehow managed to outmess the original. Apparently, rage tweeting in all caps wasn't enough to calm his paper-thin ego. No, this time he leveled up. A full-blown press conference just to convince the world he's totally not sad. Because, as we all know, nothing screams I'm emotionally stable. Like dragging a room full of reporters into what can only be described as a live therapy session. Picture it. A press room filled with journalists, cautiously optimistic he might address real issues. The economy? Healthcare? Maybe finally explain what the hell Kofif meant. Nope. Instead, in struts Donnie Diapers, dead set on roasting John Oliver. Yes, that John Oliver, a British comedian living rent-free in the mind of a former president. Instead of policy, we got petty. Instead of leadership, we got late-night level grudge holding. The teleprompter guy gave up 5 minutes in and started playing Candy Crush. Honestly, same. Now let's roll the tantrum highlight reel. First up, Trump called Oliver unfunny bold. Move from a guy whose last joke was mocking a disabled reporter. Then came the anti-British jabs, because apparently the worst thing Trump can imagine is being born somewhere with functioning healthcare. And the pièce de résistance? The man tried to say coup de grace and came out with coup de grace. That's right. Coup de grace. A verbal car crash so glorious it deserves its own spot in the Smithsonian. Honestly, history books are going to need a sarcasm font just to survive this era.
He even lied about the weather during his inauguration.
It was almost raining.
Trump's lying is obviously nothing new. He has a well-documented 40-year history of bullshit.
Trump didn't call him Johnny, not J-Dog, not even John, just John plain, emotionless, clinical. A verbal slap so dry it could have been served with a side of saltines. And while the former president unraveled live in HD, the real mystery was, where was Melania? Some said she was redecorating with custom. I really don't care. Do you? Throw pillows. Others claim she was testing military-grade earplugs. But my personal theory? She was quietly Googling how to divorce a former president without giving up the penthouse. A girl's gotta have options. Now here's where things veered from unhinged into avant-garde absurdity. Trump's tweets have always felt like fever dreams, typed in a wind tunnel. But this press conference? It was next level. As he neared what can only be described as an incoherent climax, he began spitting out random buzzwords. Bigly. CF. Tremendous. Huge. The press corps froze. Was this Morse code? A Diet Coke-fueled fugue state? A freestyle rap by the ghost of 2017? Nope. Something strange. One sharp-eyed reporter noticed every bizarre word matched his old tweets, word for word. It was like watching a broken robot recycle its own digital junk. And when someone tried to piece the nonsense together, it almost formed a message. What did it say? Well, I could tell you, but then I'd have to go full Mar-a-Lago and deny it. Ever happened. Just kidding. I'm not Trump. I don't threaten people for knowing stuff. As the presser fizzled out in a fog of ego and unseasoned word salad, only one question remained. Are we still pretending this isn't performance art? Is this real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide? No escape from reality. Sorry, not sorry that Queen reference was legally required.
When you hear 4.9 and 5% unemployment, the number's probably 28, 29.
9% rate might result in a cautiously constrictive monetary policy, whereas a 42% rate might result in the purge.
But seriously, folks, if Trump's Twitter feed is just a rogue predictive text machine gone haywire, what does that say about the future? Are we days away from headlines like Trump declares war on Greenland, cites excessive greenery, or former president bans all stairs, orders gold-plated escalators? Nationwide. One thing's crystal clear. This whole saga proves that even the tiniest pebble can trigger a political avalanche, especially when that pebble smacks an ego as fragile as a tight soap bubble in a hurricane. So next time you're feeling low, just remind yourself, at least you're not so insecure that a single word from a late-night comedian can launch you into a national meltdown. As we wrap up this comedy of errors, let's take a moment to appreciate the absurdity of former president of the United States, supposedly one of the most powerful people on earth, brought to the brink of a psychological breakdown by a single word. Sad. It's like watching a rejected political satire that accidentally got greenlit by reality. God bless. America, right? But don't be fooled into thinking the Trump circus is leaving town. Oh no, there's plenty more where that came from. In fact, rumor has it our next episode is going to be a showstopper. Trump loses it after Michelle Obama delivers verbal KO. Yes, the Obamas are still living rent-free in his head with central air and 24/7 room service. So grab your popcorn, take a deep breath, and prepare for another installment of America's Got Tantrums, starring none other than Donald J. Trump. Because in today's political theater, the show must go on even if it feels more Ringling Brothers than Roosevelt. And remember, sometimes less is more. Unless you're Trump's ego. In that case, more is never enough. Stay tuned, stay sane, and for the love of democracy, maybe don't take political advice from reality TV stars. This has been your daily dose of Trump-fueled chaos. Good night and good luck.